Greetings, Guardians, my name is Bife here. So, throughout the Pale Heart, you can see the surreal influence of the Witness. A big focus of the Witness was on its opposition to the Vanguard throughout the Final Shape campaign, and it often opposed them through the means of temptation. Crow and Zavala were the ones who bore the brunt of that temptation, and it led to a whole lot of terrible interactions between them and the Witness. Whispers in the dark, scenes of what could be memorialized in a statuesque form, offers appealing to their desires that would otherwise be impossible. All of these tactics were made and used by the Witness, and thankfully, all three Vanguard leaders resisted. But now, thanks to the lore of Salvation's Edge, we know the temptations each of the Vanguard members had to reject in more explicit detail, and we understand better the power of their will, even in moments where the Final Shape itself was approaching. Some of the offers that were made to the Vanguard by the Witness are written within the lore of the raid, and some of those offers are of heartbreaking significance. So today we're going to hear more about the Witness's temptation of the first of the Vanguard members, our stalwart Titan commander, Zavala. But first, a word from our sponsors at Advanced GG. You might know them well from their energy formula, which can keep you going in those long gaming sessions where focus and precision are key. I know for a fact that I got some good use out of them on the Day 1 and Contest raid. However, recently we've cooked up something special, and it's done to help after your gaming session is complete. It's their new sleep formula, in particular with my new flavor, Lore Daddy's Lullaby. We've got a special partnership with Advanced GG specifically for it, and the response has already been really positive. I'm someone who has struggled with getting good sleep for a long time, and I can tell you that there's a lot of stuff out there that really does not work. However, whenever Advanced GG makes a product, their goal is to cut the nonsense out of their formula and look for something truly beneficial to you. I can say that they have done their homework with their sleep formula, and they've avoided some of the common crutch ingredients that actually don't help you a lot. Things like adding extra melatonin so that your body's natural hormones will send you to sleep, but you won't actually get restful sleep, and over a certain amount of time, it's just messing with your hormones anyway. The sleep formula has none of that. It has nothing that's going to mess with your natural sleep, and it's designed to help you get restful sleep instead. It works like a treat, and I can't recommend it enough. And if all of that wasn't quite to your taste, then you can get some branded merch of mine with Advanced GG as well, including a mousepad and some ice shakers. I have both of them, and they are really fantastic quality. For anything I've mentioned, go ahead and click the link down below and use code LOREDADDY with a capital L and a capital D for 10% off your purchase. Thanks again to Advanced GG for sponsoring this video. Anyway, back to the lore. I want to start off with Zavala because he's the one who you see being tempted the most in the campaign. He holds strong against the Witness even as his faith in the Traveler wanes significantly, but the temptation that the Witness offered him was based on an old wound gouged open once more and forced to bleed anew. Zavala's family. This is core to Zavala's story, and if you didn't play the Season of the Haunted, you might have missed it. So first, a little context. Back in the Season of the Haunted, we learned that Zavala had once had a family before he became the Vanguard commander. He had fallen in love with a mortal woman called Sophia. This was back in the Dark Age when he was under the tutelage of Lord Saladin and the Iron Lords. They had not been close initially and had often been butting heads, but eventually that grew from disagreement to respect, to admiration, to love. And one day, they would adopt an infant who was orphaned when his mother died in a raid conducted by the Elixni. They took the boy under their wing and decided that as a couple, they would raise him as their own and start their own lives together. They would call the boy Hakim. Together with Zavala's ghost Taj, the family would live in relative harmony at their homestead on Earth for what was likely over a decade. One night, though, a band of fallen raiders would come to their homestead, and alongside his father, following him into battle, Hakim raced out to defend his home. During this battle, Hakim was felled by a fallen raider, There was nothing that could be done to save him. He died in his mother's arms, and Zavala could not stop what had happened. We actually get an extra bit of context and dialogue in The Pale Heart between Zavala and his ghost Taj in the immediate aftermath of this moment. Take a listen.
Bring him back. Bring him back. I can't. Take my light. You know I can't. Would you bring him back if you could? Find a way, Taj. Please. Bring back my son.
The wound that the witness dug into with Zavala was profoundly painful, as it wasn't just about the death of his son, but it was something that he only recently had forgiven himself for. It led to him and Sophia, his wife, separating because he could not forgive himself. Zavala would continue to carry that guilt even after Sophia left him. She had a daughter, and then she would marry. And even in this new generation, and all generations preceding that one, Zavala would still ask for forgiveness, carrying the same guilt for Hakim's death. And as Zavala watched generation after generation live and die, he continually asked for forgiveness, and yet he did not find it. Not until the season of the Haunted. It would take a significant amount of time and a memory of Sophia conjured in darkness to change Zavala's perspective, and for him to finally heal his old wound. But the Traveler's inaction and the toll it had taken on Zavala was still something that he had to grapple with. It was seemingly indifferent in the face of Zavala's loss, and this shook Zavala's faith in it greatly. In the wake of the Traveler gifting the light to Savathun and her brood, and the death of his dear friend Amanda Holliday, the Tower shipwright, that faith was all but shattered entirely. And when Zavala entered the Pale Heart, he had to relive that tragedy in the most visceral of ways. He was offered an eternity with his wife and son by the Witness. The Witness offered to remake Hakim, to bring him back, perfectly as he had been. We can hear more of what it offered him in the promised reunion mark from Salvation's Edge. It reads as follows. Together we will find peace. Titan, oh Titan, your Traveler betrayed you just as it betrayed us. We do not pity you. We mourn with you. We wail alongside you at the graves of your beloved son and your treasured partner. We hold you in our arms and bear the weight of your sorrows, for they are our own. We will not lament the absence of fairness in this universe. Indifference does not balk in the face of righteous anger, nor does it bend to judicious retribution. No action should be reviled more than inaction in the face of great pain and agony. One may do evil, one may do good, but one must do something. This is where our gardener failed you. It hung in the sky, watching as your boy, your Hakim, was slain so mercilessly. It did nothing as his lifeblood drained in Sophia's arms. He left this existence, knowing not the breadth of its delights, nor the depths of its heartaches. Stolen. We give you justice, Commander Zavala. We give you the joy denied to you under the unfeeling God you once worshipped. We give him back to you, whole and perfect, and we ask for nothing in return. This temptation of the witness was appealing to something directly within the deepest desires of Zavala's heart. It even manifested some of his own memories, including his old homestead where he had lived with Hakim and Sophia. But thanks to our intervention in the Season of the Haunted, it appears that he had the strength to say no in this moment of temptation, to say what he needed, even if it was the most painful thing that he could possibly have done.
I used to think I'd give anything to bring you back. But when the witness offered me an eternity here with you, with our son, I know you understand why I refused. There are people who still need me. Soon. Safi, I'm sorry.
Eyes up, Commander.
It's a lie. The witness shows us what it thinks we want.
And what has the Traveler shown me?
We should go.
I know. I loved them too.
Zavala's temptation is a reflection of the witness's utter cruelty. He didn't need to be forced to relive such pain, but the witness would immediately exploit that perceived weakness, opening the wound up with surgical precision, offering him the smiling visage of his former, now deceased partner Sophia in order to tempt him in. This would have been Zavala's small part of the final shape, an eternity alongside his son and his wife. If it wasn't for Taj, Commander Zavala might have been lost to this, but I do feel that his convictions and the words of the dissenters might still have steeled his nerves and tempered his resolve enough to keep him on the path of opposition to the witness. But then again, in the face of absolute desire and the possibility that the end of the universe will arrive without such things, saying no is an unbelievably hard thing to do. Temptation, above all else, relies on someone having something you desperately want. And in the case of Zavala, this wound that had been reopened truly was something he wanted. But much like any true Titan, above all, Zavala knew that he had a duty. He would never forget the people that he was sworn to protect, and even if it would cost him his life, he would be like Atlas, holding up the world and preventing the end of the universe at the hands of the witness itself, even if it cost him everything. Zavala would hold strong. The witness would not draw him into temptation. But what about Crow and Ikora? Well, we're going to explore their stories in future videos coming very soon. They also had to endure the temptations of the witness to a different degree. Next time, we'll be looking to Ikora and seeing what scrutiny she had to endure, and to see what her true temptation looked like, what moment of promised victory she would have to refuse. But that's all from me for now. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like, and also go ahead and leave something down below in the comments if you have any further questions. There are a bunch of different memories of Zavala that you might be able to find inside the Pale Heart. This is just before you hit the seclusion, the area where you can find his homestead. If those prompt any further questions, maybe there will be answers for you in the comments section. They reveal an enlightening degree about what Zavala is planning for as he enters the Pale Heart. Of course, if you want more Destiny content, you can go ahead and hit subscribe and the bell next to subscribe to turn on those email notifications. Thank you so far to the 30,000 of you that have jumped in and subscribed to the channel in this month. And also, do note that we are closing in on 1,100,000 subscribers, which has been quite remarkable. Lots of you have arrived within the last 3 or 4 months, and well, that progress is really quite something. You are all very welcome here, and I'm glad you're all enjoying the content. But know that, as per usual, your viewership, as always, has been quite enough for me, and that in the meantime, my name is Byf. Rodacia ad Astra. I'll see you, Starside.